turn the music up. Midday. Hump day.
It up.
We need this.
Hump day.
Dude.
Hump day. Middle of the week.
Day.
Middle of the week.
Guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is?
Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Let's go.
Man, that's some midweek ass energy right there. Like, we faked it for 3 seconds.
I humped it pretty well.
We did hump it pretty good. We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR. Whenever you sign up, make some bets, gamble on some things. We went to the Rockies game yesterday. I was thinking about this morning.
Yeah.
Did we win?
What does we win mean to you?
Did we have a good time? There were the friends
Who is
along
we?
the way.
Who is we? Are you including the Rockies in that?
I had a great time.
Yes, if you're talking about we the company, we won in spades.
I went to the bathroom. It was the ninth inning. I went to take a leak. I came back, couldn't find anyone. Went
Yeah,
home.
I saw-
Went home.
I know.
It's like, I'm going home.
At
then.
some point at Rockies games on the rooftop, it just becomes every man and woman for
Oh,
themselves.
no question.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Adam put a message in the Slack that said, "Did everyone go home?" And I was like, "Oh man, I missed this by like 5 minutes." And
Yeah.
I responded.
Everybody just
Adam was
Irish
already
exits
gone.
at the same time.
I was like, I went home. Anyway,
we
had a
just-
great time. 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Use
we
the
just
Game
went to
Time
the-
app. Get $1 tickets.
We actually went to the seats, which I understand is confusing.
That is confusing.
That's not something you usually do on the rooftop.
No.
We got a full show lined up for you today. I don't know if it's a full show. We have a show.
Sure.
Maybe we'll go short. You know?
Aaron Gordon tweets. The league wants to buy RSNs, and ESPN is ranking players. You guys are never going to believe. And then, of course, later in the show, an update on the Robert Sarver saga.
Man. Dude,
Substantial update.
This is a full hump day slate.
This is a full hump day ass slate. Hey, it'll be like 90% player rankings. And to help me with that, I've got Super Dry himself over here, T-Line Co.
This is a very popular brand in Europe, and you know,
Sure.
as you know, I
Yeah,
am
of course, you're so fancy.
very European.
Wow,
You're so trendy, man.
You're so trendy, dude.
In Europe,
Yeah, in Europe, yeah, like, wow, he's
Here you just look like shit.
I couldn't agree anymore. I couldn't agree with that anymore.
And the man over there, hat backwards. You know what vibes you're giving off right now?
What's that?
You're giving off Will Ferrell in Old School. Newly married, working on the car, taking the restrictor plate off the old
Yeah,
dragon.
well, I put together a lot of furniture this week.
Did you
That's
really?
for sure. The entertainment center, bed,
Yeah.
desk.
Yep.
So it went pretty smoothly.
Using the little tiny
The Allen wrenches
this
they
thing
give
is
you?
the worst, man. It's the worst. My most dad thing about me: multiple Allen wrench sets I own, multiple ones.
I should invest in a
It's
professional.
like
one
$3,
by now.
$5.
I have multiple ratchet sets. I'm
multiple ratchet sets.
I'm 6'2" with a ratchet.
So
But the
tough.
thing is
that
that
was
I
so
am,
bad. Don't even finish that story.
But I am so lazy when it comes to this garbage,
Yeah.
like that I'll fix it and then I'll be like, in the case, and then when it's time to find one, I'm like, why didn't I put this together? And I was like, I was never going to put it together.
Yeah, that was a great story. Thanks for finishing it.
Maybe that store would work better in Europe.
Well, let's see. Do the people from Europe enjoy that story? Y or N in the comments, please.
Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Guys, we have news today. No sooner did we declare the
My
Mr.
God.
Nugget race close. And I said, look, Bones Highland, a little more volatile.
Yeah.
He's at Willie. He's young. He's maybe a little more naive. You know how when you're young, you say that you put your foot in your mouth. No sooner did I say that than the 8-year veteran Aaron Gordon walks out onto Twitter and gives the thumbs down to the Anthony Edwards report that Anthony Edwards will be fined. I think Wynn seems to think that this could be ambiguous. I don't think it is.
I mean, I'd like to hear from him and get some context before I know for sure.
Yeah,
but it seems like, we know what he means.
He was opposed to Anthony Edwards being
That's
fined.
what it seems like, yeah.
For his comments, which, first of all, like the NBA, this is what they do, man. They find, like, some people were saying, I've seen, like, what does it matter? He made a private comment on his own Instagram during the offseason, this or that. It's in the contract. Like, the players still, like, represent the league, and they can be fined for
Yeah,
this.
plus it's reprehensible.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm just
of
saying,
course.
there's the matter of, like, the moral issue of it.
Sure,
and then there's
sure.
When we were talking about
But, like,
Sarver, as we did last week,
Yeah.
my points were not about the morality of Robert
course,
Sarver.
of
It was
course.
the legality of what can be happen. I'm just saying the league this is within their rights. So to give the thumbs down, you either disagree that the legality of the league, or you
Yes.
disagree with, like, hey, that wasn't even offensive. And both counts, you're wrong.
Yeah, and the thing is that even if he is just saying, like, this is like a player bargaining thing where it's like, you're being fined for something like This is not. You don't.
I think the lesson is just don't tweet.
You just don't. Tweet,
That's always
just
the lesson,
especially during the Mr. Nugget primaries.
Yeah,
This is a real trip up in the primaries,
right.
man.
This is an October surprise.
Oh, right as the ballots
September
open up,
surprise.
the boxes open up.
No sooner than we went on. You're right. Exactly. In the face of everything that we gave him as a virtue.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
He did it almost to make us look
Now,
bad.
here's the thing. I don't want to go on the big. I feel like media, and especially sports media, for whatever reason, gets into like moralizing the sport more than anything. We can all agree that we find this to be disappointing. That's the word I would just use. Is like I really like AJ. I find him to be interesting. He's been very thoughtful in a lot of different ways. This one's to me that I'm like, that's not thoughtful. This is just a bummer. And so that's my only take. I don't want to sit up here and do the pulpit thing and do the like, hey, everybody needs to this or that. Look, we live in a world where not everybody shares your values, and I understand that. This is one instance where I'm like, that's a bummer, man. Do I look at Aaron Gordon meaningfully different? I think I'm better than most. When I say better, it means I'm more capable than most of separating. I do mean better than most. I am better than most, but I also mean more capable than most of separating art from artists.
Yeah.
Whether that's athlete from the person or this or that. Like, to me, I am more comfortable than most, I should say, separating those two things. And it's not because I'm letting it slide. I'm just saying, like, you're going to tie yourself in knots if you only listen to music, watch movies, read books, and watch athletes that like conform to your 100% of your values. Nonetheless, this is a thing where I look at Aaron Gordon and I go, thought you were better than that.
Yeah. Disappointing is the right word, I think.
So, do we have any other comments on it?
No.
I personally don't want to make the show about that.
I don't either.
Even though I do think it's important to note,
Yeah.
very disappointed in that.
And that's really just like what it comes down to. Like, man, what a bummer.
Yeah, what a bummer.
A huge bummer.
And more interesting news, at least to me, there was a report in, I believe it was Sports Business Journal. I'll have to pull it up here after I throw it to you guys, that MLB, the NBA, and the NHL are looking to purchase RSNs, notably the ones that are Bally Sports. I think they were, I can't remember what that is, the parent company. I'll have to pull this up. The parent company, though. So
Sinclair.
Is it Sinclair who bought all of the RSNs in 2019, right before the bust? Like, they paid big dollar to
That
become
has
like
not been a good
a
investment.
horrible investment. So they buy all of these and like, hey, we're going to make this a big conglomerate of RSNs at the exact moment where RSNs, and we know this obviously locally here with Comcast, that these cable companies are saying, those things actually aren't worth that much, and we're going to charge our prices for distribution.
Man, that's some collusion.
So you think about Altitude as a one-off and how much they've been vulnerable to this. Imagine multiplying that by 40,
Yep.
and then them being screwed because you're losing 40 times as much. And what was interesting here is two things. One, that these leagues might want to purchase them now, and if you're trying to purchase not all RSNs, but a significant portion of them, clearly you're looking at this trend and being like, we're kind of screwed. People are more and more not going to be able to watch their team locally in an economic way. We need to come up with an alternative. But number two, and this is what was interesting about the article, they noted that some of the revenue you get from those local television contracts, that becomes part of BRI. It becomes part of like, hey, how do players make money?
Right.
And if this goes under, if they go bankrupt, and this is the thing, is that the hedge funds that have kept these companies afloat are entering a phase now where they can take over, a hostile takeover now, and say, you guys owe us a bunch of money, you can't pay it, we're going to take over. And in that instance, it voids the contracts they currently have, which might be great for the hedge fund as they restructure things, but it would be horrible for the teams who would like lose out on this money, even if it's in a short period of time. So I say all of that to say that there's an instance right now where the NBA and these other leagues are looking at this going, we might lose a lot of money on local contracts, so we might have to overpay for a value that's depreciating, an asset that's depreciating in value, so that we can restructure the way we distribute these games. To me, this is a pretty big story, and the main thing I'm going to say here is, look, we all feel that Altitude and the Kroenkes have done a disservice to the people of Denver by not making them available. But there's something here to look at and say they were just ahead of the curve.
Man, I have been screaming about this. When you say a depreciating asset, it's based on the fact that Comcast won't pay them the amount that they're asking for.
Right.
It is artificially depreciating. It is. This makes me This gets back to the fact that Comcast owns the river, and they're just cutting off the water. They're like,
Right.
oh, sorry, you can't have our water anymore. You're like, well,
Because nobody's drinking it.
but they are like the thing is that Comcast wants to own the RSN model. They want to be the ones, and so they have the ability to choke out these RSNs, and they're doing it. And to me, it's like it's so immoral. It's collusion. It honestly should be antitrust. Like they went to court for antitrust violations, and I don't think this is the end of it. And this is just like what capitalism allows for. Like if you have the upper hand, you could just sort of do what you want. And the only people that are going to be screwed by this is us, is the people that want to watch sports. Like this battle is going to wage, and one side is going to get in trouble legally. The other side is going to just be allowed to, either it's going to be business as usual, or Comcast is going to have all of these AT&T based RSNs that they will run and they will get all the revenue from. But at the end of the day, it's just us having our nuggets taken away from us for, it's going to be like 5 years.
But I want to put this other thought out there, which is there's so many moving parts, and we're 3 years into this, and I think we keep seeing new layers to this onion. And one of them is, okay, maybe the NBA. I've been upset with the NBA. There's been like, are you on Team Comcast? Or are you on Team Altitude?
Sure.
I think it's kind of dumb to phrase things that way. The only people that are doing that, spoiler alert, largely are competing radio stations with Altitude that are like, hey, this is a chance to kick somebody while they're down. In my opinion, to me, I don't think there's a good guy. There are just like bad guys in here, and there's a third leg to the bad guy to me, which is the NBA that has watched this and has just been like, well, that's not our problem. We wash our hands of it. But it makes a little bit more sense that the Cronkies have dragged their feet if to artificially accept a deflated deal. Maybe the other owners are telling them, don't do this. It's going to screw us over. And now the Cronkies are in this position where they're like the bargaining chip. But also if the NBA is coming to them saying, don't do this, we're going to try to solve this problem by buying distribution across the board, and we will buy you at the rate that we would buy Bally's, the same rate, so long as you hold the line here. Like, again, I'm not saying this is what's happening. I'm just saying all of these things are factoring in that now it's becoming clear that everybody actually is looking at this, has no solution for it, and they're trying to rack their brain to figure it out.
The RSN model is just so messy, I feel like.
It is.
Because if you remember before Bally's, or before all the networks were like Fox Sports North, Fox Sports South, and it changes hands all the time, couple of years, and it's Bally's, and in a couple of years, I'm sure it'll be something else if the leagues don't step in. So maybe this could be a good thing, going forward, if it's all under one roof and there's just some normality to it all, because now it just seems so messy.
Yeah, it's almost like the RSNs are unionizing.
Yeah, it's almost like that. Yeah, these competing forces are like joining.
So they have to go up against the larger competitor, which is Comcast.
Isn't it funny, man? Like, this is the way the world works. Do you remember like 10 years ago? You started to have like, oh, the cable companies are getting broke up by Netflix and all these guys. And it's like, what a great thing for the consumer. And you fast forward 10 years and now like everything, you just have to buy
I've been
Disney,
predicting
Amazon.
that we're going to be pivoting back to cable.
Yeah, because it's so expensive now. You're like, I just need all of these crazy ones.
The amount of subscriptions we're paying for is just more than actually what we'd be paying for cable.
You start to see people complaining about Airbnbs because you have to pay for cleaning. They're like, I'm going to a hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so true.
Everything comes back into style. We know this.
It's so true, man. It's so true. I don't know if like... I am intrigued by the idea of the NBA coming up with a complete... Because to me, this is one of those things where it's like the ground shifted under everybody's feet. Yeah. I think we just can throw out the old model and not try to fix the current model and be like, we might just need a new model. So part of me thinks if the NBA did own all the broadcast rights, there would be real positives and negatives to that. One, I hate the way the NBA markets itself, and I have no faith in them to do a great job of like positioning the Nuggets to like grow the fan base. I think it would actually, in a lot of ways, make it worse. And by the way, I think Altitude, great product.
Absolutely.
Great product. Like the people they have, Katie Wingy, incredible. Yeah. I think, like Marlo and Hastings Vic Lombardi is one of my idols. Like they have great talent over there, and I think the product, relative to a lot of what I see, is not great or is great. Do I think that the NBA would match that? Absolutely not. I think whatever it is that they would do would be less than that.
It would just be a bunch of Richard Jefferson.
It's also a huge undertaking too for the
NBA. Enormous.
The NBA, I think, when we think of the league office, it's probably a lot smaller and just like the amount of people and manpower that they have than what a lot of people think it is.
Man.
I do wonder, though, and you guys know I think about this stuff all the time, I do wonder if the future of distribution is just the game. and there is no pregame, postgame show. Maybe there's no halftime show. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, hey, you buy the ticket here, and then that's it. Is like they count on third parties to come in and be the pregame show and the postgame show. Which again, like we personally believe that is the scenario. Whether the NBA or Altitude or anybody else goes out, we believe that over time people are going to enjoy our style of coverage enough that it's like this is an alternative. But maybe that's what the league looks at and just says we're going to distribute this like red zone or like, you know, where it's just like, yeah, just buy it. You get access to all of them. Nothing's blacked out locally because you just bought the NBA package and that's part of your deal, part of your bundle. Man,
if they were smart, they would just make it available on like Channel 2 like it used to be for the Denver Nuggets. Like you don't need cable of any variety. The games are available for everyone to see.
I'm told that's not viable though, because economically that the cable money, as low as the numbers can even be in terms of like how many people are actually now having to jump hoops, the number is still so big it would change things.
But this is like small thinking. It's like if you got the city, everyone watching the Nuggets all the time, what that would ultimately result in sales of merchandise and tickets. I mean, it's small money, big money. It's like in the short term, yes, they would be losing the cable, but like imagine actually seeing people wearing Nuggets shirts and things on the street because they were thinking about them.
I know, but I even then I think that just again from all that I've talked to people is the money is so set up artificially to be TV centric that it's hard to break the entire model. And say even though over time you would get more people doing what you're saying.
As you're saying though, the model is broken.
Again, but we know a lot of models are broken that just keep going and going in large part because
you just put a piece of tape over it.
Not even that. It's just that it would cause too much short term pain, because the people that would lose the most are like they have the power, so you have to take it from them.
It'd be too much work.
Yeah, but consider like where we are. The games have not been on television for 3 years. Like we're not in a good spot.
Well, I look at this and I go, this is one of those things where everything bends until it breaks. And I look at when I see a report like this, which by the way, it should be noted, the NBA came out and said, hey, there's some inaccuracies in that reporting. Not everything in that story was accurately reported, so we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, the details that I do trust the most are this idea of the hedge funds having the ability to seize control of this. Like if you are losing the amount of money they're saying that Sinclair and Diamond, which is the company that underneath Sinclair, Diamond, the company that's running Bally's, if they're losing the amount of money that they're saying, like it's like, yeah, at some point, if you're a hedge fund,
you're like, what are we doing here?
No, they're doing exactly what they set out to do, which is like, boom, gotcha. We can take over now. We can seize this, and it's going to happen. And the NBA has to look at that as we probably can't let this happen because it would cost us a lot of money. So I say all that to say these things do seem to be coming to a head. I'm not trying to let Altitude or Comcast off the hook for any of this. It sucks. The fans matter, and they got screwed out of this. But I do look at it and I go, it's coming for everybody, and this is is like the biggest wave I've seen that was outside of Denver.
I just don't want to talk about Comcast anymore.
No.
Talk about Ivanka TV.
I've been talking about it for 3 years.
Yeah. All right, let's get into player rankings here on the other side. But Harrison, maybe you could tell us about Ivanka. I don't know. Are they up in one? Or?
In about 20 minutes, I can tell you about Ivanka.
Hold on. Real quick breaking news. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a grade 2 left MCL sprain and will miss the start of training camp.
I was expecting bigger news.
Well, who are the Nuggets home?
I was like, shit, what happened to Nikola Jokic?
You don't think that's big news? Nuggets home opener, Oklahoma City?
Sure.
It's big news to me.
The NFL action is in full swing here at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win. Get $200 in free bets if they do. They've also got the stepped-up same-game parlay. You can boost your winnings with that. For every leg you add, boost your winnings up to 100%. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. When you place a $5 bet on any football game, that's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And got to talk about one of our newest sponsors, maybe our newest sponsor, Game Time Tickets.
Oh, baby.
You guys were at Coors Field last night.
Game Time
because of Game Time.
That's right.
Bought tickets through the Game Time link in the YouTube description. In the description, if you're listening to this as a podcast, buy your tickets through there. through game time. You guys went to a Rockies game for $1 last night.
It was
$1.
It was $1, and it felt like the right price.
Yeah, I think that's a fair price.
I will say I had a great night. For
it was
Tuesday
a
night,
fantastic night.
I had a phenomenal night, and it was worth $1.
I think if you then average that out, I think each out that I saw recorded cost 25 cents.
Wow, yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I did not. I watched. You know what? I watched the error in center field that allowed the first runs. It was the worst error I've ever.
Yeah.
Standing like this. Oh, it looked like Pee Wee. Come on, Rockies.
Don't. No need to explain it. Everyone here saw it.
Yeah.
We all watched the game.
Yeah, we all watched. Everybody was
Game time. Look, there's like so many ticket sites out there. Don't spend time and waste time going through all the different ones. Just go to Game Time. Use our link in the description. It will get you cheaper tickets than you can find anywhere else. And they have crazy deals and crazy last-minute price drops. So if you're a procrastinator, you can get really good tickets for cheap close to the start of the game. Check out the Game Time app in the description. Always use that link when you're looking for tickets to games, shows, concerts, whatever you need.
Just keep talking for a second. I'm doing some math.
Oh boy, how long do we have to talk for? Let's see.
5.
What are you adding up over there?
You know what? All right, I'm back. All right, we're back. We're back here. Real quick, I want to get into this news. If you can pull up the Shams report if you want there, you can pull it up. It says Thunder Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a grade 2 left MCL sprain and will miss the start of training camp, team says. And then Jeff Stotts in street clothes, who I trust on this stuff. He's like one of the guys that keeps a database of all injuries and across sports and stuff. Very good with this. He says, according to the In Street Clothes database, grade 2 MCL sprains, partial tears, result in an average of 41 days lost. That's 21 games, 41 days lost. And here's why this is 41.
What did you say 40?
Because it's an actual scientific number. He's telling you if you average every grade 2 one.
It's just fun. It's 40.
You want him to round down and just say
it's actually 40. It's 40 games.
It's 41.
Or 40
it's 41 days. Well, here's why it's important, Eric. The Nuggets play the Thunder, I believe, in 31 days.
Not 30, 31.
31 days. Either way, it's within, there is a chance that the Nuggets' home opener on the second night of a back-to-back at Ball Arena does not feature Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I don't think there's a chance. He's definitely not playing.
Well, originally it says he's going to miss. Well, Sham says he's going to miss the start of training camp, which would imply he's going to be there for the end of training camp or the preseason. But according to Jeff Stotts, 41 days, would take him in. All I'm going to say is, there's a chance Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not available there. We already know the rookie's not going to be there. What's his name? Why am I blinking on his name? Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren not going to be there. This team might just feature Kenny Hustle and no one else.
Dude, so you're announcing here that the team that will be tanking hard all year has an even greater chance of losing the game against us than they would if they were purposely trying to lose.
Their tank usually doesn't start until
Thank you for the sarcastic guy who's not being real about it.
No,
you're wrong, man.
No, dude, this is a Victor W. I'll say that. Things are going to be different in the NBA this year. If you play the Spurs or if you play the Thunder.
Are you Victor W, man? I'm all about. He looks so good, but 7'4" and growing rapidly. Already foot injuries. Are we sure?
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, man. I think this guy looks awesome, but if you told me what's the track record on 7'4" mobile bigs?
I mean, zero. That's never happened before. Yeah. It's maybe Yao Ming.
All right, 7 foot mobile bigs.
Yao
I'm just
Ming
saying.
was probably the tallest, most mobile, and he had a very short.
He didn't last very long. Although when he was there,
very good,
very good,
very good, very good.
I'm just saying
Who's their starting point guard? Trey Mann.
They got Giddey. Don't forget. I mean, they still have Dort and Giddey. They're still
okay. So the lead story is 31 days after the season starts, we will beat the team that's tanking already. On to the next story.
The worst. Eric does not enjoy the details of basketball. He does not enjoy them at all.
These are not the details of basketball.
Are you even excited for the season?
What are you talking about? I love the Nuggets. You love SGA.
I do love SGA. Guys, ESPN is back. And the content that they provide is top-notch.
It's the toppest of notches.
Toppest of notches. And this week, they're unveiling their top one. Every year they rank players because that makes sense.
I'm ready
to rank players.
Irate.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be irate? Let's go through some of these.
My favorite show of the year.
Oh, I know. It's so good.
Polls, rankings, surveys.
I'll tell you right now.
Crowdsourced material. I'm here for all of it.
Not ranked, Bones Highland.
Okay, why would he be? Why would he be?
Well, exactly. Why would he be? He's not exactly, the
rookie of the year or rookie all team.
But I understand it. Okay. If we get to our first one, Aaron Gordon last year was number 69. Okay. Nice. This year, 83.
What?
He fell. Last year, did he have a bad year that I didn't notice? Because he fell 14 spots to number 83. Let's all get mad. Let's get mad online.
Aaron Gordon coming off maybe the most efficient season of his career.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Maybe the best defensive year of his career.
I remember that part as well.
But falls in the rankings.
What is Gordon's role? With the return of Murray and Porter.
No. Yeah, this is the part. So this was written by a former Denver Nuggets reporter over at The Athletic, Kendra Andrews, who says that his role will be unclear this year. Like last year, more clear than this year, which I just have to categorically disagree with.
What are you talking about?
We love
saw
Kendra.
His role.
We love Kendra. Also, yeah. The point is, he was brought over to be the role he's had.
Last year, the perfect role.
Yeah, last year's role was the confusing one. This year's role is like, oh, perfect. He slides into the thing he's best at. So I would disagree with that categorization. I will say this. I just don't have it in me to get too mad about player rankings because I don't believe in them. I don't think it makes any sense.
I love that you're saying this while mad.
Well, I'm not. I'm mad at the argument. I'm mad at the idea that like his roles
you're mad at things surround. I understand. Okay.
Paolo Banchero, 82. So he's behind Paolo Banchero.
That's embarrassing. I'm gonna get mad at these now.
I
have the energy.
You want another crazy one? He's behind Josh Giddey.
What?
He's behind Josh Giddey.
Man.
If you look at who scored more points last year, Aaron Gordon or Josh Giddey, it was of course Aaron Gordon. Grabbed more rebounds as well. Aaron Gordon shot 13% better from the field than Josh Giddey did. Now I know this is not apples to oranges. Like we got a power forward and you got a point guard and this or that, but like.
What are we doing? Karis LeVert isn't that good.
Karis LeVert ahead of him. I'm telling you, man. Like this.
Karis LeVert.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying I think it's a little weird. I love AG. I'm super high on him. Disappointing in his tweeting. Very disappointed there.
Not part of it. That's not
somebody
part of
I saw
this
in the
discussion.
chat. Somebody said you guys better go on record selling your AG stock. Why? I'm not selling it.
Yeah, we're just like not. We're just like.
Yeah. Why would I?
Well, he's as a basketball player, he's a good basketball player.
Yeah, he's a great player. So what are we talking about?
We're disappointed.
I'm disappointed. Actions. Yeah, and like his take on gay people, but nonetheless, like 83 to me, I just don't know how you go backwards after last year that much. If they lowered him, I don't know. It's just weird.
It's
weird
almost as though these are based on complete nonsense.
They really did go off of vibes, man. They just went off of
vibes. I really think
vibes,
people that don't follow what the Nuggets have done since Aaron Gordon got here and have not followed him since he got here still just think of Aaron Gordon as Orlando. Yeah. Aaron Gordon.
Harrison Barnes at 74 was interesting to me too. Like they do different things. I mean, we just value, I guess, scoring more, except for when it comes to Josh Giddey. I forgot
he was in the league.
If Josh Giddey had normal hair, where would he be ranked?
What does he mean by normal?
Just like a buzz cut.
Oh.
He'd be outside the top 100.
I think worse. I think his hair. Oh yeah, exactly. His hair helps him out a lot.
Yeah. Oh, his hair helped him flow into the top.
Kenneth Freed's hair helped him more than any players has helped his hair. Like that was a real hair. He got a hair upgrade.
That was great hair.
Number 72, Michael Porter Jr.
72.
Now here's a weird one. And last year, by the way, he was 41. Here's the thing: Kawhi Leonard got number 12. There's a very clear, like we all think Kawhi Leonard's a top 10 player. I mean, he's really good. They very clearly they are going to discount players who are injured and are giant question marks, and who better to be discounted than Michael Porter, who's been injured enough that this isn't the first time around. And if you read also by Kendra Andrews, the one thing I disagree with is she says if you look at his career, he's always missed large chunks of games in each season. Not necessarily true.
His rookie year, he was not hurt.
Yeah, like he actually has been healthy for a majority of 2 seasons. He's just missed because of COVID and he's missed because of this or that. But he has missed whole seasons in the ones that he did not play. Nonetheless, I can't get too mad at this because it's clear that they are not saying what they think he should be when healthy. They're just factoring in health. Are you mad at this one?
No.
I'm not as mad at this one.
Yeah, MPJ is like, there's too many question marks around him to be. I'm honestly, like, if he was left off this list entirely, I wouldn't be mad. He's got to prove it. He's got to prove it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of prove it. I will say, this list, like number 68 is Desmond Bane, who was a 20-point scorer last year. Like, one of the things I'll tell you is that the NBA has a lot of really good players. Like Desmond Bane, fully healthy, nothing else is a 68. He's going to be the second or third leading scorer on that team. Probably second leading scorer on that team this year, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Most improved player.
So that just shows you.
Maybe.
Yeah, so that just shows you that And Jalen Brunson, 67, who was clearly the second best player on his respective team and then got this big deal, is 67. So you could be offended, but you could also just say that, holy shit, there's 67 better players than max contract Jalen Brunson. That's wild.
I mean, I'm actually not surprised by that.
Scrolling through, you get Westbrook at 65.
Wait. Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
65?
Wow. Is that, I don't know what that means.
What? Russell Westbrook is not a good player. What are we doing here?
Well,
what are we doing here?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't
Russell
know.
Westbrook is a negative player.
To me, this is like
this is why player rankings are dumb.
What?
This is to me. The story here is the guy that I think probably has still the highest salary in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is the 65th best player, whatever, 68th best player.
Russell Westbrook is not good.
I mean, he's not as bad as we want him to be. He's terrible based on how good he used to be. He's still, I mean, like...
No, he's terrible on the Lakers. Yeah. But if you put him on...
He's on the Lakers.
That's a fair point.
That's a really good point.
I think Russell Westbrook is a negative player.
Well, yeah, he is, of course. But I'm saying...
He's ranked 65.
If you put him on Houston and told all the kids to get out of the way, he would average a triple-double and people would be... And they would win, like... 40 games, which would be half the games, and people would be like, man, is he an MVP candidate? Triple-double?
Yeah.
Nobody would say that.
Maybe they wouldn't. Jeremy Grant also ranked ahead of Michael Porter. Again, I just can't get too mad because the Michael Porter one is clearly whatever.
This is more of the Aaron Gordon.
You want to get mad,
outrage.
Though. 62. Well ahead of Michael Porter. 15 spot. Jalen Green. Your boy, Jalen Green.
I hate... No, ESPN values the wrong things all the time. This is just another
Jalen Green.
Go a little bit lower there, Kale. One more. It gets better. Tyler Hero, who's the real Michael Porter facsimile. Like Tyler Hero and Michael Porter kind of have similar roles.
Yeah, Tyler Hero though is right. Did he actually win Sixth Man of the Year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, like, come on.
He also had like the coldest first 3 months of the season.
Yeah, but he won Sixth Man of the Year. I mean, how mad can you get about that?
Kyle Lowry, 100 years old. That was an interesting one for as high as he went. Tyrese Halliburton, a little low. Robert Williams, always hurt. Got hurt to start. Do you see Robert Williams is hurt too, man? Like, unbelievable. I feel bad for that guy. He's a good player. Robert Williams is a good player, man.
Very good.
Vucevic.
Dude, the Chicago guy's not that high on Vucevic. They don't really like him.
Yeah, I'm not that high on him either.
I mean, he's
fine.
He's like not the end product guy, He's the guy that he's the last piece you trade.
Yeah,
so like,
he's the placeholder.
So maybe 57 a little high.
It could be. I mean, relative to some of the names.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a little.
But again, this is the Westbrook thing where it's like. Those both got Vucevic and Westbrook are good.
Vucevic is a way better player than Russell Westbrook, man. He is.
So you just hate Westbrook for good reasons. I understand it, but Westbrook could still put up a triple double, man. Like he could still do it.
I love this Westbrook rage. I'm all for
There are players that like push you over the top and make a good team championship contenders, and then there's players that make bad teams good. And Westbrook is that. He's really good at that. He can make a bad team good.
He's pushed Harrison over the top. He's angry.
I'm never going to recover from this.
Jordan Poole at 55 is interesting to me.
Remember when you saw those baddies next to the court and then caught fire?
Like how that's what you think of and not when he was just torching the Nuggets.
Well, that's what games 1 and 2. The tweet I've seen 8 billion times about how Jordan Poole saw baddies next to the court and then caught fire. Anyway, Jordan Poole.
Your telling of the NBA story is just great.
Baddies.
Dude. Yeah, of course.
Do you know what happens to me in life? So I'm walking around. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Boom, baddies.
And then you're like, boom.
Then I'm going to make my
life. So, what a life. De'Aaron Fox at 54 is interesting to me. He's,
De'Aaron Fox, man. Every time the Nuggets match up against the Kings and invariably lose, we can't really figure out how. And De'Aaron Fox torches the Nuggets every time. I'm like, how is this not like the best point guard in the league? There's a lot of guys that play like against the Nuggets.
He does stuff that the Nuggets
defense
has just been bad against.
Blowing by perimeter defense over
blow-bys.
and over. Yeah, he's so quick.
And then dishing it to Rashawn
Is there a
Holmes.
Sacramento adjustment we have to make? Isn't it possible he's better than we think? But I mean,
I think he's really good, man.
Yeah, he might be stuck in hell.
Like he's Wiggins in Minnesota.
Hey, man. Speaking of Wiggins, he'll show up a lot later in the show.
Oh, no.
He's going to show up
Wiggins
much later. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, he
I'm with
deserves
it.
He deserves it.
Dude.
I'm with it. We can't wait for Aaron Gordon to jump 70 spots when people are like, is he actually
Right.
good? We didn't know what his role would be, but it turns out a perfect role for him. That was very obvious if you paid attention. Number 50.
The last little line.
Number 50, Jamal Murray.
Okay.
He was not ranked last season. Of course, he was going to be out for the whole year, or at least most of the year is what we knew going into it. Before that, I can't remember. I think he was like 31 or something. I can't remember. Maybe somebody in the chat will remind me what he was 2 seasons ago. 50. Again, you just can't get mad. They're clearly discounting this.
It's low, but I can't get mad. He's just got to play. We just got to see him play.
He's on a prove it deal with ESPN Rankings.
Do you think Jamal Murray takes this personal?
Totally. He's
Yes.
like, oh, he's just fueled. He's like, if I see one baddie,
I'm expecting an Instagram story about it.
Now, here's a crazy one to me. Number 48, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who last year was 36. How did he drop 12 spots between last year?
Because Andrew Wiggins jumped up.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins is one of the guys that jumped him.
And didn't he
Yeah, but
miss a
Shai
bunch
is
of
like
games?
at the knee of the curve for players where they grow a lot. And he averaged, 23 a game last night?
Knee of the
Yeah.
curve. What a phrase to choose on today of all days.
With a sprained MCL, knee of the curve.
Knee of the curve.
Ooh, you're right. I just look. I'm learning that I am higher on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander than anyone. I guess
You
I just
really
own
are.
him.
You really
He's
are.
great.
It's tough
He's
because he
great,
never
man.
plays.
I know. That is part of the toughness.
He always plays against the Nuggets, it feels
And
like.
then he always murders them, and it
Yeah.
sucks. And we're like, how did we lose to the Thunder? Shai
Yeah.
had 30. But won't play, it looks like, a home opener for Denver. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Unless it gets delayed by 10 exact days.
You're the worst. DeMontis Sabonis, 47. Let's keep going here. Darius Garland, 46. Darius Garland better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
No.
Then what are we doing here? That's just like another one of those ones where I'm like, again, the ranking aspect is crazy, but when there's specific players, you're like, huh.
I think
First of all,
some
defensively, no
guys,
contest.
some guys get a bump just because of their affiliation. He probably gets a little Cavs bump because
What's a Cavs bump?
the Cavs are hot right now.
Oh, they're so hot right
dude,
now.
Dude, the Cavs are
The Cavs are sexy right now.
We got Spida out there.
Yeah.
You got CJ McCollum at 45, which is kind of interesting to me. I mean, he's pretty. He had a
good, man.
He had a bit of a rejuvenation.
He did. He had a rejuvenation.
Huge rejuvenation, man.
Although he was 30 last year, so 45 is actually low. Tyrese Maxey not ranked last year. He's 44. Now
Seems
here's
high for him, man.
And then the funny one to me, Draymond Green, 43. Like, Draymond Green, you guys remember the Warriors, not the best offense in the league last year, but they were the best defense.
I know.
43.
The problem is the lasting memory of Draymond Green is that him being embarrassed for portions of that finals.
Him winning the championship?
Well, but it wasn't just him.
That's the lasting image of him.
No, he lost some shine at the end of last season. He was being abused. And
This is so weird. I'm telling you, the way you're talking about him right now is how people are going to talk about Yoke when he wins the championship. They're
Probably-
going to be like, he won, but defensively,
saying,
he
like,
was
this-
so lost.
it wasn't even defensively. He just offensively. He was kind of for the first time in Draymond Green's career. He was looked at as a liability, and he was benched in important parts of the game. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like that's the wave we're coming out.
A couple more interesting ones here. DeJounte Murray, 42. LaMelo Ball, 41. And then Fred VanVleet, 38. That completes the list of point guards. They're all in this little jumble. Jamal Murray not the end of that. De'Aaron Fox was actually behind him. If you look at those guys, De'Aaron Fox, LaMelo Ball, DeJounte Murray, Fred VanVleet, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If we look at all those guys, Darius Garland, at the end of the year, where's Jamal Murray going to be?
He should be ahead of them.
All of them.
No question.
I think he should be. Yeah.
Dude, Jamal Murray is going to be a very impactful player this year. Like he's going to be. I mean, it's tough because we don't know how he's going to start off, but he's been putting work in. I mean, we've not like seen him. Have you guys like seen him play?
No.
Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the video of him playing
seen
against
what you have.
dudes. Peyton Watson posted a video of him really taking him one-on-one the other day.
See, my thing is that I think he's going to be awesome, but it was like I didn't know what Russell Wilson looked like on the Broncos until we saw him on the Broncos. We saw him in practice or whatever, and it's like different than you expect, good and bad. So I don't know. Like I expect wholeheartedly that Jamal Murray makes like a full rebound and gets back
I
to
think
where he
by
was.
the end of the year,
But that's
he's
just it. Like, how long
clear
does it
those
take?
guys.
How long does it take?
I'm curious what the chat thinks. Just like, which of those guys do you believe Murray won't pass? I mean, I should say, is he by the end of the year? Are we going to feel confident saying he's better than DeJounte Murray?
Freddie
Better
Velvet?
than
No problem.
Well, Fred VanVleet, by the way, was top of the. Fred VanVleet's really good.
He's
man.
great. That's not to me. I'm not to neg Freddie Velvet. I'm just saying, like, if you consider the impact that Jamal Murray can have on a team versus the impact of Fred VanVleet.
VanVleet helped win.
He did, but it wasn't
major
in the
playoff games.
Yeah, but it wasn't like him in the way that Jamal Murray took over bubble games.
I think
he kind of does, though, man.
I think VanVleet might be the
piece.
best of that bunch.
He's for sure.
He's weird because, yeah, he's a weird one.
It's definitely not
we think of him as
LaMelo.
less of a star, but it might just be the Toronto factor there.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart 34 and Kyrie Irving 33. Marcus Smart. It's weird to put him above some of these other guys, but I also get it. He's Defensive Player of the Year. Like,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he's also getting the Celtics.
He had
bump.
like a really big ascension last year that I did not see coming, and then he fell right back off when it mattered the most.
You guys want to know? So, what was Aaron Gordon 78? Andrew Wiggins last year 77. This year 32.
Wow.
That's a hell of a jump for Andrew Wiggins.
I got to give it up
Dude,
for
he
Andrew Wiggins,
made a
man.
massive leap.
But can I say, doesn't that mean that
It's
you know,
possible.
possible for Aaron Gordon? That maybe, I mean, to me, that's
Absolutely.
just part of the brightest timeline. Is if we're talking about Aaron Gordon this way, we're like, man, is he the perfect role player that every championship team needs an Aaron Gordon, and he's the top Aaron Gordon. The way Andrew Wiggins kind of became the top of that guy.
Aaron Gordon's going to play a very similar
agree.
role to the one Wiggins did.
Although,
Your
man.
premier defender, rebounder, guy who does the dirty work.
But then Andrew Wiggins started scoring. They started counting him for everything.
Kind of. He did have a little bit of isolation scoring, but I'm telling you, I don't think that's the reason that he got the bump. He got it for two reasons. One, he locked up some key players, including Jason Tatum. And two, he grabbed rebounds like no other. He had like 4 of his best rebound games.
Yes.
Telling you, Aaron Gordon this year can have a similar impact on a playoff series where Aaron Gordon can have 8 points, 2 assists, 4 of 10 shooting, but guess what? 17 rebounds in a key game and the ones with Wiggins were like 3 offensive rebounds in a row where
Right,
you're like
in key
backbreaker
spots.
in key spots, and it's like, yeah, that's the backbreaker. That's
And
why
then
Andrew Wiggins
the
is getting
Nuggets
the big
win the
bump.
championship.
And they win the championship.
Beautiful. What a
Chris
story.
Middleton 31, Pascal Siakam, Brandon Ingram's really high. People really love Brandon Ingram. I'm a little more skeptical.
I'm the one. I'm the Brandon Ingram guy.
You're the guy.
Show.
Zach LaVine 27 is interesting to me. Doesn't he seem like he's a little bit closer to the pile than the other guys?
Closer
Man.
to Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
than-
just to those guys,
He's
just a
good,
little
man.
bit. He is really,
Yeah.
But what has he won? Like he's good, but what is he
To me, it's like this is Jamal Murray's
territory?
Territory. Like this is about like Zach LaVine, Jamal Murray.
You've
on
got
any
Drew
given
Holiday's
night.
next. Drew Holiday right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Jamal Murray territory. This is where he like rightfully belongs. Top 30.
And then if you go to the top, the next list, you'd have to go to a different page there. It's I think there was a link at the bottom. You get Anthony Edwards at 25, Donovan Mitchell at 24.
Anthony Edwards at 25.
Is that too high? Too low?
I think that's high.
It's a little unproven.
The Timberwolves,
so good.
I was listening
but
to
he
Zach
averages, like,
Lowe's
1 assist a
podcast
game, man.
yesterday. The Timberwolves are the only team with 3 players in the top 50.
That's wild. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really interesting.
Oh, no, sorry. Top 25. Because Anthony Edwards, what did you say, 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 players in the top 25.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow. That is a lot, man.
Edwards, Cat, and Rudy Gobert.
Interesting. I love this one. Anthony Davis, 20. Some people are calling
Did
him
you
the
hear
MVP.
he's played in more games than Paul George?
Oh
and
my
Kawhi
God.
Leonard? Did you hear that?
Interesting stat, guys. Interesting stat. He's played more than a guy who missed an entire GD year. Oh, I'm so annoyed.
Yeah. Hey, what have Anthony Davis's injuries been? Oh, sprained ankle?
Yeah,
Jeebus.
Bradley Beal at 19.
God, man.
19.
Jamal Murray or Bradley Beal? Who'd you rather have?
Jamal. Jamal's a killer.
Jamal Murray? Healthy Jamal Murray, yes.
Then top 20 players on the
Bradley
table
Beal
if
doesn't
we're
want
going
that
there.
smoke.
No question. Jamal Murray is no question a top 20 player.
Bradley Beal is he's not that guy.
No, he's like a mid-season play. He's like a regular.
He's a regular. You know what Bradley Beal's going to win? The MVP of the mid-season tournament.
No question.
That's what he's going to win.
No question.
You're denigrating the mid-season tournament though in a way I don't like. I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
You know what I mean, though.
Rudy Gobert 18. That's silver medalist Rudy Gobert to you guys. Jimmy Butler 17. Jimmy Butler perpetually underrated, but also it's appropriate.
Jimmy Butler way better than Trae Young.
I don't know. Trae Young has some big playoff games. Paul George 15. God, the NBA is really good. Damian Lillard 14. Can I talk about a guy that missed a whole year? Damian Lillard was unhealthy the entire year and then missed half of it.
Yeah, he gives really good interviews.
He didn't get
but he's got like years and years of film that they're going.
He's staying in Portland though.
Yeah, he is. He's not afraid of that fight.
Karl Anthony Towns 13. Kawhi Leonard 12. James Harden number 11. On the other side, I don't have any takes on any of this, other than that's really good players. Like James Harden, stacked. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Karl Anthony Towns, Damian Lillard. These are really good players to miss out on the top 10, man.
Yep.
That's absolutely wild. On the other side, we haven't seen Nikola Jokic yet.
Oh, boy.
At what number are you upset? What's the number that's going to make your blood boil?
Anything higher than 3, I'm pissed.
Well, you just ruined the whole segment. That was a tease for the other side.
Break.
Sorry, everyone, for ruining the segment.
Football season is back, and Mile High is ready to see what this new look Broncos team has in store. Breck Brew has you covered for Broncos season. Check out the Broncos Country Pale Ale in that beautiful looking Broncos can. Show off that colorful Colorado legacy with the Orange Crush logo and 100% Colorado ingredients. It's your go-to beer for Broncos season. The Broncos Country Pale Ale. If you don't know where to get it, check out the Breck Brew beer locator at breckbrew.com. Also, what else do we got here? I forgot my other read. Evoca. Evoca TV, guys. The GOAT in Colorado sports coverage. The future, the present, the home of our Serbia documentary when it premieres. You guys get set up with Evoca TV right now. You get Nuggets games. You get Avs games.
What a novelty.
You get 60 entertainment channels as well.
You get Rockies games.
Well, yeah, their season's almost over.
Yeah, I know, but just the concept, you're just buying a sports package here.
Plus other channels as well. You can go to evoca.tv/Colorado10 and get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. Evoca.tv/Colorado10. It's usually $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee, but get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. Evoca.tv/Colorado10. No contracts, no hidden fees. Don't have to worry about that with Evoca. Get set up with them right now so you're good to go for Nuggets and Avs season.
Is that it?
Now we're good.
I'm trying to lay out the top 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm missing one person. Maybe you guys, as we go, you could tell me who that one person
Curry,
is. Hold on. I'll go through the list now. Okay. So here are the players there's 10 players left. Jokic, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker. That's 9 players that have so far not been mentioned. Was Jaylen Brown on that list? I think he was, but I don't remember. I don't think so. They have him as a top 10 player?
No way.
There's no way they would have him as a top 10 player.
You're right. You didn't call him out.
Kale, scroll through that list and see if he was on there.
It'd be funny if they just forgot.
If they forgot Jaylen Brown.
Oh, God damn it. Jaylen Brown.
So I'm not exactly sure. No, Gobert's on there. Ja Morant. It's
Ja Morant's probably 10.
It's Ja. All right.
He's 10, I bet.
All right. So what is the number? It's Ja Morant for sure. You don't even have to look it up.
Jaylen Brown was 22.
22 for Jaylen Brown. Okay, that's about right. I mean, he's a really good player, two-way player.
Well, yeah, where was Chris Paul?
He was in the list too. He was like 15 or something, 21. Yeah. So again, the league's really good, man. The league's really good. These guys are 21. All right. What's the highest number Jokic could be for you not to be like, this is unbelievable?
I'm telling you,
he's got to be 2 for me.
What?
He's got to be 2.
MVP.
Spoiler alert, he's not going to be 2.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
He has to be top 2. Giannis is going to be number 1.
Giannis is going to be number 1.
We know that.
I think he's going to be number 1.
Jokic, he has to be 2 for me.
Yeah.
He just has to be.
If they put LeBron James as 2, I'm going to be mad.
I don't think it'll be LeBron.
Who is most likely to pass him? Giannis for sure.
If they put Embiid, I'm going to lose.
It's not going to be Embiid. It's going to be
Embiid.
Kevin Durant or Steph Curry.
I agree. Maybe both. Maybe both.
Oh, God.
Is it possible he comes in 4 behind Steph and KD?
Yes, it's very possible he's 4.
No. Oh, God. I can't.
Is it possible that he's 5 behind
Luka?
Joel Embiid?
No, he'll be ahead of Joel Embiid. I'm wondering if he might be behind Luka.
You think they'll put him behind Luka, huh? No. The 2-time MVP? The reigning 2-time MVP?
I thought today was going to be a fun episode.
I'm just trying to get you
My
prediction
is he's...
I think Evan's order is the order I predict. Giannis, Steph, Durant, Jokic. I think they're going to have him there.
I think that 4 might be right.
I think that's how they're going to do it. Steph's coming off of a championship. KD still gets penciled in even though he got swept in the play-in.
It's true. It's true. That's what's going to happen.
The fact that Kevin Durant is still regarded as 3 is just
if we're gonna play coming off of last year, Kevin Durant was horrific in the playoffs.
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't very good. He was a little passive.
He sucked.
He was a little
Steph, I think Jokic is better than Steph, but Steph coming off a championship,
it's a hard
I
argue.
can't be as mad about that one as
Steve,
I can
Steve
be about
May
Kevin
says
Durant.
F Steph. I've never seen anybody say F Steph.
I'm with it. Like
you hate Steph?
I do now. He passed up Jokic. F Steph.
He hasn't yet.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe I'll wait.
We just wait. I will say this. How would you feel if Jokic was number 1?
Great. I'd be like, finally.
I'd be like, damn right.
Yeah, he's the back-to-back MVP, meaning he's currently the best player in the NBA.
It doesn't suit him. I want Jokic to have a slight coming into the year. I don't want it. It'll be
you
weird.
You won't have to worry about it.
No, I don't have to worry about it. I just think I don't want Jokic to ever get that number 1 spot.
I'm not going to be like, yes.
Yeah.
If he was 1, which he's not.
Oh, God.
Like, we know Giannis is going to be 1.
Exactly, J-Rock, my guy. Joker plays best, underrated. That's how it's going to be. I think Jokic comes in 4th. I would be more surprised if he came in 2nd than I would if he came in 5th. And there's even a chance that he comes in 6th somehow, and they just put Luka and Embiid and LeBron. It's ESPN, guys. Dave, was it McMenamin? He's McMenamin. There it is. He's doing these. LeBron's going to get a little extra love. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh boy.
Now I actually kind of hope he's like
7th. He's like, and it's like him and Tatum are tied 7-8. And you're like, what?
Zarko asked how much Jokic actually cares about this ranking. It's
Zero!
not for him, but it's for us.
Come on, you're better than that.
Come on.
He doesn't even know he doesn't even know how to get to ESPN.
Yeah,
this is our rage.
Yeah. Last bit of news here, guys. Robert Sarver has released a statement. He is looking into selling his team. The language around this is a little bit interesting. When we talked last week, I noted, or actually when I came on the show last week, I noted, like, look, to kick somebody out, especially an owner, is going to take a lot. You're going to have to get them, this or that. And then I noted that when Donald Sterling, everybody thinks, the NBA banned for life, they kicked him out, they forced to sell. Not true. Still had to go to court, still had to do a lot of different things. And how did he actually get out? His wife, in a way, sabotaged him because they offered an enormous amount of money for him to sell the team. And the wife said, you know what, he's unfit, which was probably true, first of all. But it was like you need somebody on the inside to sort of collude with you to get the person out. And that's what happened with the NBA. So I say all that to say the NBA couldn't go through the front door, to use a popular phrase. They had to go through the side door.
Yes. That startup energy from the NBA.
And I think it would be less to say that they went through the side door and dragged him out kicking and screaming as it is they went through the side door. They opened it and lured it with an enormous pile of cash.
Yeah.
To me, this is the exact same scenario. One, the sale has not happened. Sarver is just basically saying, hey, I'm looking at the writing on the wall. I am now persona non grata across the NBA. He probably was all along, but like now he.
No, the worst part is that he wasn't.
Well, I'm just saying now it's like
now he's a pariah.
Well, Adam Silver, it's so funny people latched onto certain parts of it because in the part of the press conference where Adam Silver said, owners have different rights than employees. In the larger part of what he was saying was from an owner's perspective, we feel this is a big punishment because it changes his relationship to everyone else. Publicly, he is shamed. He was basically saying we don't have the right to just take this from him.
Right.
We would have to go to court. But you have to understand that it's not just money. Like to a billionaire, money is like, poker chips. They don't care that way. They're just looking at it this. But what he was saying is we feel as the NBA have put him in a position to where he is now uncomfortable. We've taken something from him that you don't value, but I promise you he values. And guess what? He was right. Because here is now Sarver, who is being pulled in two directions. One, from shame, saying like what Adam Silver said was, hey, you guys don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a lot to you, but to him, this actually really hurts. And then secondly, he's being lured by, well, you can either fight this and be persona non grata for the rest of your life, or you can take an enormous pile of cash that we will help you earn to get out the door. That's what's happening here. Is it a success story? I mean, you're going to be rid of Sarver, so I think
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, but it's not a thing of like, oh, the bad man got kicked off of his tower. It's like he's being lured out by, he'll probably sell this thing for $2.5 billion, which is probably $1 billion more than what it's worth or what it would have gone on the open market. But that is all part of the NBA's plan. So when people protested, oh, the NBA should have kicked him out, they should have done this or that. Guys, the real world is way more complicated, and this was a game of chess that the same thing with the Sterling, they positioned themselves for Sarver to be in a lose-lose situation, and it appears as though he's going to take the best scenario for the NBA. Take the money and get out of there.
The public pressure worked. The public pressure absolutely worked because...
What do you mean the public pressure? I'm curious about this.
LeBron tweeting that he shouldn't be an owner. Draymond Green calling him out. The amount of players that have spoken out. The media that's said how ridiculous it is that that he's still going to be overseeing the Suns in some capacity. It would have, if Sarver didn't say he's going to put the team up, it would have gotten to a point, I think, where the regular season is about to tip off. And you've got Chris Paul on the Suns. You've got LeBron. You've got, I think all these stars would have like come together and been like, we can't play while this guy is still the quote unquote owner of the team.
Will you feel the same way if Chris Paul's group buys the team? Will it make it a little bit weird for you?
No.
For you?
Whatever. To me, I feel like this was part of the discussion when they're like, listen, we're going to fine you and you got it. We can't force you to sell the team, but like
we can make it as uncomfortable for you as possible.
But just sort of like this isn't going to work anymore. Like we can't force you to do this. We're going to allow you to do this on seemingly your own terms.
Right.
But, this can't continue. Unfortunately, we've hit an impasse here. Like this, no one will ever forget about this. So I suspect that was part of the conversation the entire time. Like the timing of this is such that it's like you kind of see like this was always going to be the case.
Right. And so this is my only point, is that this was all part of the way you get somebody out, and it is carrot and stick. He's choosing the carrot on this one, and that's really how this works. So the idea of like, oh, they should have just sued him from the start and kicked him out would have been like way worse of a scenario. Yeah. This is the way you get it done. And to
best
be honest
case
with
scenario for the league.
And to be honest with you, kind of surprised he's not putting up a fight. A little bit surprised by that.
I just think
he just has such a low approval rating right
and it will
now.
never regain. There's nothing he could do to,
that just did
to
it. He's like
not be viewed
even
this
if
way.
he won the lawsuit and it was still the owner, where is he then?
Yeah, he's still and like it's funny because Amin El Hassan worked for him, and I think Amin's great. And to me, he's the number one resource for this because he knew this guy personally.
Yeah,
and he like all along not just through the story. Years back, Amin would always talk about him, and it gives you a perspective. One of the things about Robert Sarver he always says is that he's really good at business, really rich. He's cutthroat, he's like ruthless, or this or that. But that he has no friends, and he hates it. And I think that's part of the calculation here is why is he in all this hot water? Because he was always down in the locker room trying to hang out and be one of the guys, and nobody liked him. Yeah. And so now you put a guy whose like biggest vulnerability is his own like desire to fit in, and you tell him, you will never get a chance to fit in again.
Right.
And you'll never even get to delude yourself into thinking you fit in, which is probably the scenario. That's what Amin always says is he didn't realize nobody liked him. Now they did a thing where it was like, now you have to know that nobody likes you now. Nobody will ever like you. Right. And you can either fight it, and even if you win, you're still going to be hated by every person you ever look at, or you can take an enormous pile of cash and get it out of here and just disappear into the sunset. And he's choosing that option. And I'm a little surprised by it. But at the same time, to me, that is this is why last week when I brought up all of the does nobody know how the world works? This is how you win. You have to play the game of chess to put somebody in checkmate. They got him in checkmate, and it appears as though he is going to take his money and go home.
Yep. I mean, this is what Silver was hoping for.
The entire time.
This is what everyone was hoping for.
The entire time. And everybody got tripped up on the oh, but you said they get held to a different standard. He's like, shut up, guys. Yeah, I know what I'm doing here. Just chill out on all of this virtue signaling.
Right.
We're doing the thing that we have to do. So
yeah.
I find it interesting. It does seem like it'll be a positive ending. The only piece I'm a little concerned about is the main players in this. I do fear that there is a little colluding going on, and I will be a little sick to myself if this is if
it's just everybody sort of piled on at the right time, a coordinated attack to eject somebody that was unpopular to begin with, but not for the reasons.
Not for the reasons that are being presented. Not for the reasons
of needing to cleanse the league of this evil. More so just to create a vacancy that then Chris Paul could take over. To me, that is
the other parallel story.
The slimy part that hopefully is not the full story here.
Yeah, but whatever. Still a net positive.
Net positive. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So there we go. That's today's show, guys. 2 more days of off season before the preseason begins.
I can't wait to be fucking enraged by this Jokic rating.
It's not going to come. I think tomorrow we're probably going to get what are we going to get? What are we going to get tomorrow? Are we going to get 9 and 10?
I don't know.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Give us the top 10.
Just fucking let me be mad. Just let me bring this. Yeah, don't let me be mad going into the weekend. Let's get it out on a Thursday, shall we please?
But tomorrow, do we need an ESPN story?
Because they're going to stretch it out through the end of the week. The top 5 will come out on Friday. That's what tomorrow's for?
Yeah.
Top 5 will come out on Friday. 10 through 5 will come out tomorrow.
And so we might see Jokic's rating tomorrow.
If Jokic is revealed tomorrow, I will lose it.
Well, you're on the show tomorrow with me, so.
Oh, I can't wait to see what the knock on him is too. Everybody has a little
He's maybe the least impressive 2-time MVP.
It's somehow Nick Wright writes, you don't even work for ESPN. How did he get to write the paragraph?
Yeah. As the most dominant player in the league, is he sexy?
Is he sexy? Everybody, thanks for hanging with us. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll see you tomorrow.